What's going on, Sci-Fi fans? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode of Sci-Fi Wednesdays. Last week I went ahead and took that Wednesday off and I jumped into my stash and I went ahead and figured out what I wanted to go ahead and build. So I thought today we'd go ahead and give you guys a look at the kit I've selected and talk a little bit about the plan of action and where I'm going with the project. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the kit. I'm very excited about that. Hopefully you guys will be too. This is the 1/144 scale Millennium Falcon by Bandai. This is actually from Solo: A Star Wars Story, so it is the Lando Calrissian version, not the Han Solo version that most of us are familiar with. The Lando version will be much cleaner, have a different aesthetic completely. It's a bit more of like a pleasure yacht as opposed to a smuggler's ship, and I think it's going to be a fun, different take on the Millennium Falcon, which of course is one of my favorite ships from Star Wars. Now looking into the box, of course, this is Bandai, so we have a ton of really nice detailed parts. We've got decal sheets, we've got sticker sheets, and of course a beautiful instruction manual. Now just looking at the parts themselves, we have got some major detail in these kit parts, guys. I'm very excited to see how this all looks when it goes together. Not only do we have exterior detailing, we have interior detailing as well. We have different parts and pieces to make up all sorts of internal compartments, such as the living quarters, the cockpit, and even the gun turrets. So that is pretty awesome. Looking at the exterior of the ship as well, we have very finely recessed panel lines. We have a good deal of raised 3D details though. We've got recessed details as well in the forms of pipes and wires, all nicely molded into place. Honestly, very crisp, awesome looking kit parts. It should be pretty impressive. Now going ahead and putting the exterior parts together, we have an idea of roughly what the size is here for the Falcon. And it's actually pretty big. Being a 1/144 scale kit, I thought it would be a little bit smaller, but it's actually pretty large. So this is going to look great on the display case. Plus, there's a lot of room on the inside of the ship, so I might be able to do some pretty cool lighting, depending on my skill level and how much I can really fit in there, you know? But from right here, it looks pretty promising. Not only do we have some beautiful exterior parts and pieces, we also have some awesome interior parts. For example, we have a couple of components we can put together to create the living spaces here, kind of the common room. We've got a lot of furniture molded in, we've got consoles, some side panels. All these areas are very nicely molded with wires and details and gauges and little lights and whatnot, so we could do a lot of detail work with that. Not only that, but we do have the side bulkheads, even though that center hallway is closed off. Some of the exterior parts and pieces like this panel right here, we have molded in 3D details for vents and for armor plating and all sorts of awesome looking things here. Bandai has this beautiful reputation of making very quality kits, beautifully engineered, and this is no different. We might even be able to do some scratch building, maybe even do some kit alteration to make it a little bit more action-packed, a little bit more lived in. I don't know, but I am very excited at the potential that this kit holds. Just so much detail, so many nice little finely recessed panels, fantastic looking kit. Now for the instructions, guys, these are very typical Bandai instructions, very beautifully detailed, very nicely rendered. We start out with the cockpit, all the details there. We move through the different crew compartments. Of course, we have color callouts and decal callouts. It goes through everything, and that is awesome. That's the one thing I love about Bandai instructions, that they are so clear and so well engineered. The model almost builds itself sometimes. It's so nice. One thing I did find though is here we actually have mention of a lighting kit made specifically for the Falcon model, and that is intriguing. So I might want to look into that a little bit later, but it looks like we have so much detail that we can pretty much take this to whatever degree we want. If we want to do even more lighting, we could, even less lighting or no lighting at all, that's up to us. One thing I have noticed too is that we have pre-drilled holes and openings for lighting to be able to be pushed through into different areas. Like for example, here with the cockpit, we have an opening that we could easily feed a 5mm LED up through that opening and into the cockpit to go ahead and illuminate the entire interior. So that's really cool. I like how Bandai has done that. Two different stands. We have one for the Falcon and one for the escape pod. And then we have on the back a full array of color profiles for not only decal placement, but paint for the interior and the exterior. So an amazing looking kit, so much detail, and I think this should be a really fun project for sure. Now, one of the reasons why I was kind of drawn towards the Lando Calrissian version of the Falcon is actually for the paint job. The Lando Falcon is all white with some blue accents here and there and different panels that are kind of picked out in that really nice looking blue color. I might not have to use any of the decals. I might be able just to paint it all with airbrush. I'm not really sure, but that might be something to look into. Also, all the interiors as well as the figures, they're all nicely labeled and detailed right here. So we're looking great, guys. This is going to be a really fun project. Now, in terms of my plans for this particular build, I not only want to light the cockpit and the engine, but I also want to go ahead and light the interior sections as well. And that might be easier said than done. I don't really know. For the rear engine, I might want to do like an LED strip so that I get more light and get a better light distribution. I also also might want to do some fiber optics in the bottom of the ship itself, maybe some of the side fiber optics. There's some red lights that we see on the movie a lot of times, so I might want to go ahead and add those. I don't really know, but there's a lot of different options for this. And I think since this is kind of already geared towards the idea of lighting the interior, I might as well take advantage of that and see if I can't come up with some really cool idea that I might be able to utilize to build up a lighting kit that's going to light a lot more than just the cockpit or the engine. Now, if my skills can carry me through, I'd love to go ahead and put lights in the cockpit, in the gun turret area, in the living compartment, also in the engine, and then I might want to do an exterior lighting pack as well. So like, for example, fiber optics, or maybe that little spotlight on the front of the nose. That might be something I could do. I don't really know for sure, but I would love to go ahead and see how much I can light and just go with it. I also am very much interested in making a custom base that will look and kind of give the aesthetics of the Millennium Falcon's control panel from the movies. And I might want to go ahead and maybe incrementally light the different areas with different switches, allow me to push the limits of my knowledge a little bit more. But anyway, guys, that is going to be all for today. I just wanted to go ahead and show you the kit I'm going to be building, talk a little bit about where I'm taking it. I think this is going to be a fantastic project, a really fun build, and I'm hoping you guys are as excited about this as I am. So until our next episode, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode number 2 of the Lando Calrissian Millennium Falcon here on Ben Builds Sci-Fi Wednesdays. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.